A pleasant evening and a warm welcome to the national news live on Channel I. I'm Dilanjali Ananda.
Good evening, I'm Charita Miniprarachi, and let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news. Minister of Health says he is prepared to resign from his post if it was proven that internship appointments have been made through political intervention. 3 more Omicron-infected patients have been found in Sri Lanka. A 4th dose of COVID-19 vaccine to Israeli citizens. Gas cylinders with printed notices on composition have been released to the market. A striking growth in Sri Lanka's export revenue. New secretaries have been appointed to the Ministries of Mass Media and Agriculture. An emergency landing of a light aircraft on the Payagala beach. On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with local stories. 17 newly accredited envoys to Sri Lanka, including 11 newly appointed ambassadors and 6 high commissioners, presented their credentials to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the President's house. Mr. Ernest Mahimba handed over the credentials as the High Commissioner of the Republic of Sierra Leone. New ambassador of the Kingdom of Jordan is Mr. Mohammed Al-Qaid. Mr. Choi Ho-chol handed over the credentials as the ambassador of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Ms. Mukangira Jacqueline is the new High Commissioner of the Republic of Rwanda. The High Commissioner of the Republic of Botswana is Mr. Gilbert Shimane Manhole. Mr. Ruben Gauci presented his credentials as the new High Commissioner of the Republic of Malta. Mr. Andras Laszlo Kyril is the new Ambassador of Hungary. Mr. Mohammad Ahmad Rara has been appointed as the Ambassador of Mauritania. Ms. Hayat Talbi Bilal handed over the credentials as the Ambassador of the Republic of Tunisia. New Ambassador of Argentina to Sri Lanka is Mr. Hugo Javier Gobi. Mr. Charandas Persar presented credentials as the High Commissioner of the Republic of Guyana. Mr. Magid Mosleh Nafei is the new Ambassador of Egypt. Mr. David Emmanuel handed over his credentials as the Ambassador of the Dominican Republic. New High Commissioner of Nigeria is Mr. Ahmed Zulay. Ms. Devi Gastina Tobing presented credentials as the Ambassador of Indonesia. Mr. Jose Maria Domings is the new Ambassador of the Kingdom of Spain. The new Ambassador of the Republic of Slovenia is Ms. Mateja Gush. Minister Professor G.L. Pires and Secretary to the President P.B. Jayasundara were also present at this occasion.
Minister of Health Keheli Ramkala says that by judging the demands of the striking doctors, it is clear that they have not been subjected to any injustice. The minister reiterates that if they are able to show any unfairness caused to them by the health divisions, will not hesitate to rectify such shortcomings. The Government Medical Association is engaged in a strike based on 7 demands. As a result, the patients are experiencing severe difficulties. Minister Keheli Rambukwala has expressed opinion regarding the doctor strike at a media briefing today. Minister Keheli Rambukwala says that so far not a single complaint has been received regarding any indiscrimination pertaining to the appointment of intensive. The minister said that he is unable to understand the behavior of the strikers at a time when nobody has reported about any injustice or harmful impact. He has categorically stated that there has not been any political mediation of any manner at any time regarding transfers or promotion or fulfillment of any needs of the doctors. The minister added that if anyone is able to prove of his political mediation in these issues, he is ready to resign from the post. The minister has also appealed to look into the grievances of the general public. He added that they are prepared to engage in discussions to resolve this dispute.
New gas cylinders with Sri Lanka Standard Institute recommended composition printed on them were reported to have been issued to the market. Accordingly, the cylinder shows that the gas composition is comprised of 30% of the approved quantity of propane. The specialist committee appointed to look into the cause of the gas-related domestic accidents taken place in the recent past has stated that yesterday the reasons behind such accidents was the changes in the gas composition. As a result, the Sri Lanka Standard Institute has declared the new standards relating to gas composition. Accordingly, the gas mixture contains 30% of propane and 70% of butane. In addition, in 1 million particles of gas is vaporized state, 14 units of mercaptan particles which emanate odor should be included. Gas cylinders with the new composition printed have been released to many regions of the island today. The cylinder has displayed the notice that 30% of the propane has also been included in the gas composition. However, it has also been reported that sales representatives in many areas have not yet received new gas cylinders with the notices of the composition of gas printed on them. It has also been pointed out that many gas-related accidents occurred in many parts of the country today as well.
Specialist physician on viral diseases Dr. Jude Jayamaha says 3 more Omicron virus infected persons have been detected in Sri Lanka. All of them were persons who have come from abroad. The new Omicron variant was first identified in South Africa. So far, patients afflicted with the Omicron viral strain have been reported from around 90 countries. The 3 Omicron virus afflicted persons have been found through gene analytical research carried out by the Medical Research Institute. 2 of them have arrived from Sudan. The other persons came from Tanzania. The Health Division says all 3 of them have arrived in the island on the 16th and 20th of this month. So far, 32,630,430 doses of vaccines have been inoculated on the people of Sri Lanka under the COVID inoculation program. The first dose has been delivered on 15,972,186 persons. The number of persons who have received both doses are 13,817,888. The booster dose has been administered on 2,840,356 persons. The inoculation of the booster dose is being carried out continuously under the COVID immunization program. Vaccination programs have been conducted in every district. 458 COVID-19 infected persons have been identified in the country today. The number of those continuously receiving treatment is 8,343. 311 patients were cured today. The total number of fully recovered persons are 558,226. The Director General of Health Services has confirmed 16 COVID-19 related deaths which have occurred yesterday. 11 of the fatalities were of the age of 60 years and above. The remaining 4 victims were between the ages of 30 and 59 years.
And meanwhile, President of the Sri Lanka College of Pediatricians, Professor Shaman Rajendrajit, emphasized that the public must continue with the preventive measures and understand the importance of vaccination in order to protect children. He made these remarks at a media briefing held today.
Is that the Ministry of Health approved our request of vaccinating children of 12 to 15 years with a single dose of Pfizer vaccine so that we can prevent as much as possible the spread of coronavirus among children and continue their education. Very similarly, we are very pleased again the decision of the Ministry of Health to give the second dose of Pfizer vaccine to children from 16 to 19 years because that is the ideal way of vaccinating children against COVID-19. I would again reiterate, it is very important during this festival time. We can remember very well during last New Year, Sinhalese New Year season, we only had few cases of Delta variant. Now we had our worst experience probably due to Corona during June, July, because our behavior was not appropriate. Very similarly, I remind you all adults above 20 years, please come forward, and who have got 2 doses of Sinopharm vaccine, get yourself vaccinated with a booster dose of Pfizer vaccine. By preventing coronavirus spread among adults, we will be able to prevent coronavirus spread in children, because the virus spread within children is minimal. Virus spread from adult to adult is high. Similarly, virus spread from adult to children is also high. The way forward to protect our children from coronavirus is to protect adults getting themselves coronavirus infection.
And moving to the world update of the COVID-19 pandemic, European leaders are reinstating coronavirus restrictions as the new Omicron variant continues to spread through the continent. However, the United Kingdom's Prime Minister Boris Johnson has ruled out any new restrictions for England before Christmas. The World Health Organization's top official in the continent has warned that the surge will push health systems towards the brink of collapse and has said that governments should brace the significant increase in cases. Europe has already seen more than 89 million cases in 1.5 million COVID-related deaths. The World Health Organization has said that the Omicron variant has been detected in at least 38 of the 53 countries in the organization's European region, and it is dominant in several other countries. Israel has said that it plans to become the first country to roll out a 4th dose of the COVID-19 vaccine as the country prepares for a wave of infections driven by the new Omicron variant. Israel pandemic experts have recommended a 4th booster dose for people over 60 years of age, including healthcare workers. Prime Minister Naftali Bennett has welcomed the plan, and Israel confirmed the first known death of a person with Omicron strain yesterday. It has also been administered to people at least 4 months after the 3rd dose. Israel has confirmed that more than 1.36 million COVID infections since the start of the pandemic, with 8,200 deaths reported.
On news back at home, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has appointed 2 new secretaries to the Ministries of Mass Media and Agriculture. The new secretary of the Ministry of Mass Media is Senior Administrative Officer Anusha Palpita. The appointment will come into effect from the 1st of January next year. Anusha Palpita, who has already completed 34 years of service in the state sector, had commenced his duties as an audit inspector in the year 1987. He had joined the Sri Lanka Accountancy Service through an open competitive examination in the year 1990. Since the year 1993, he had functioned as an assistant superintendent of the Sri Lanka Customs. Later on, he had joined the Sri Lanka Administrative Service, where he had served as a special grade officer since the year 2013. Anusha Palpita also held the post of Director General of Government Information, Director General of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, and Chairman of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. He has also been functioning as the Director General of the Sri Lanka Telecommunication Regulatory Commission since 2010. During the period of the Government of Good Governance, this reputed administrative officer was subjected to unfounded accusations and a prison sentence. Subsequently, the judiciary has acquitted Anusha Palpita from all charges. He had rejoined active state service and functioned as Secretary of the Ministry of Economy, Policy and Planning Implementation under the purview of the Prime Minister. In addition, he had assumed duties as Secretary of the Ministry of Industries and Chairman of the Development Lotteries Board. Meanwhile, DMLD Bandaranaike has been appointed as the new Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture with immediate effect.
The Export Development Board says Sri Lanka's revenue from the export of commodity items would surpass $12 billion by the end of year 2021. Chairman of the EDB says Sri Lanka has achieved striking progress in November of this year by increasing its export income by a further 1 billion rupees. According to data released by the Sri Lanka Customs, the country's export revenue in the month of November this year has increased by 55.11% in comparison to the figure of the corresponding period of last year. Accordingly, the country's total revenue for the month has been recorded as $1,215.6 million. The board further says that shows Sri Lanka has been maintaining continuously for the fifth occasion an export income exceeding $1 billion in November of this year. Chairman of the EDB, Suresh Dimel, says that Sri Lanka's success in effectively controlling of the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic has maintained attributes towards export revenue growth. He added that opportunities have been accorded to the export industrialists to contribute to the national economy by earning more foreign exchange even at a time of crisis.
Minister Johnston Fernando says that the government will take all necessary measures to uplift the economy of the country. He has made these remarks at a media briefing in Kurunegala today, held in connection with rise in prices of consumer items including fuel. Minister Johnston Fernando said that they acknowledge the fact that cost of living has gone up in Sri Lanka. He added that they had taken measures to maintain the cost of living at a stable level amidst price increases. The minister further said that there is no alternative to price increases. He added that the opposition is making use of the situation to topple and march forward of the people. They are eagerly awaiting to see further decline in the country's foreign reserves.
A light aircraft engaged in training pilots was suddenly landed on the Pagala coast this afternoon. The Sri Lanka Air Force says that the cause of the emergency landing was due to a technical defect in the aircraft. Pilot training instructor and the trainee pilot were in the aircraft at the time of the landing. The aircraft belonged to a private pilot training institute. SLAF media spokesman Group Captain Dushan Vijay Singh said that an Air Force rescue team was dispatched from the Katakurunda Air Force Base after receiving information of the incident. No harm was reported on both the instructor and the trainee.
The book titled Mittani Sansa, based on the life of Venerable Mapalagama Buddha Sirinayaka Thera, was launched under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The ceremony was held at the Kotalavalapura Samadhi Buddhist Center in Ratmalana this morning. Vichitra Dhamma Kathika Venerable Boralle Kovidra Thera compiled and edited the book on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of Venerable Mapalagama Buddha Thera's life as a Buddhist monk. Deputy Chief Prelate of the Malwatha chapter, Venerable Dr. Niyangoda Vichitra Thera, delivered the sermon and said the people should be more attentive to the massive development activities being carried out by the government in the face of the ongoing pandemic. The Thera also pointed out that the psychological relief experienced by the people in Sri Lanka due to the vaccination drives is immense compared to other countries. Meanwhile, the President also participated in an alms-giving ceremony held at the temple. The Mahasangha, including Mahanayaka and Anunayaka Theras, Minister Dallas Alhapperuma and Principal Advisors to the President Lalit Viratunga were also present.
And more in your local stories, the board of organizers of the 2021 Raigam Teledrama Awards Festival says that applications of teledrama creations are now being accepted. A media briefing to enlighten the relevant groups and to declare the sponsors was held at the Sri Lanka Foundation Institute yesterday. The award ceremonies of 2020 and 2021, which had been postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, will be jointly conducted. The organizers further said that the judgments of applicants of teledrama creations telecast in year 2020 have already been completed. Acceptance of the applications on teledrama creations of 2021 will end on the 15th of next month. The organizing board says that the award presentation is scheduled to be conducted on the 26th of March next year in Colombo.
And now for more news from home in brief. Two persons were killed in a road accident in the Southern Expressway. Our correspondent says the accident has occurred when a Bowser clashed with a lorry parked on the expressway. The victims of the incident were the driver of the Bowser and an assistant of the lorry. The new Dhamma Damsabha Mandapa of the Sadaham Sisila Buddhist Center in Kalaniya was declared open today. It has been constructed with the financial contributions of local and foreign devotees. A symbolic handing over of dry rations to low-income people has also taken place. A group including the wife of Prime Minister, Madam Shriranthi Wickramasinghe Rajapaksa, has also attended the ceremony conducted under the patronage of the head of the Sadham Sicily Buddhist Center. The Office of the Indian High Commissioner has come forward to implement a program to uplift the Pirivana education. As a part of the program, an international quiz competition on Buddhism and Buddhist heritage was held at the Paramadhamma Chaitya Pirivana Vihara recently. Bhikkhus engaged in education in grades 3, 4, 5 of Pirivanas throughout the island took part in the event. The State Trading General Corporation, which has been incurred losses for many years, has become a profit-making institute. Bonus payments were given to the employees today in a ceremony presided over by Minister Bandula Gunawardena. A profit of 13 million rupees and through the sale of face masks was distributed as bonus payments.
And a promotional campaign in joint collaboration on the Tourist Airlines and the Sri Lankan Airlines has been planned to make Sri Lanka an attractive tourist destination. The program will be implemented on the instructions of Minister Prasanna Ranatunga. A preliminary discussion regarding the program was conducted with the participation of heads of all institutions under the Ministry of Tourism yesterday. Even at this juncture, state institutions, the Tourism Development Authority, the Airport and Aviation Services Company and the Sri Lankan Airline are engaged in their promotional activities on a separate basis. The new joint promotional program will be implemented in addition to these measures. The promotional programs are to be propagated via social media. It has also been decided to implement the program in international conferences, seminar and exhibitions related to the fields of tourism and aviation services being conducted in foreign countries. It has also been declared next year as Watch Sri Lanka Year with the objective of attracting more tourists to the island. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga has stated at a discussion that 152,109 tourists have visited Sri Lanka from January of this year up to now. The minister further said that with the first 20 days of this month alone, 47,120 tourists have arrived in the country. He also pointed out that tourist arrivals in the island next year could be enhanced through joint promotional programs. And meanwhile, the Silver Screen Cinema Awards Festival was conducted at the BMICH in Colombo yesterday. It was organized jointly by the Green Generation and the Silver Screen Arts Association. The objective of the award ceremony has been to appreciate the veteran artists who have contributed an excellent service to the local cinema in the 50th decade. Former President Maithripala Sirisena, Minister Namal Rajapaksa, State Minister Lasantha Lakiyawan and many veterans in the cinema fleet were present on this occasion. The services of 21 artists of the 50th decade, including actors and actresses, male and female singers and film directors, have been felicitated on this occasion.
Minister Dinesh Gunawardena has presided over ceremony to wrest the Madivila Rural Fair to the people today. The week fair has been constructed through the decentralized funds of Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, according to a request of Madivila Community Council. Persons living in around 3,000 families in the area are being benefited. The pola is scheduled to be conducted once in every fortnight. The fourth stage of the Saubhagya Week program organized by the Department of Samruddhi Development has commenced in Maharagama yesterday. Golden Leave certified were presented on this occasion to 20 persons empowered through Samruddhi Relief. Presentation of Samruddhi Arunalu loans to 15 persons and presentation of Samruddhi Mithurunaya to 16 persons have also taken place. Checks of the value of 200,000 rupees to each of the winners' Samruddhi Housing Lottery took place. Equipment including electronic molding machine has been presented to a center engaged in clay-related exquisite items in Buddhamavata village in Molgoda yesterday. Officials of the National Craft Council were also present. A fully pledged intensive care unit constructed at a cost of 100 million rupees was declared open at the Udagama-based hospital today. Minister Teledrama Awards was also present on this occasion. The new ICU is comprised of 5 beds. The minister has also handed over an electricity generator to the hospital. A project to expand the surgery has also commenced. The minister has also supervised the commencement of the garbage disposal project of the hospital. The event was also attended by Minister Ramesh Pathrana, parliamentarians Sampath Athukorala and Isuru Dodangoda, Southern Province Governor Willie Gamage and hospital staff.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do it tomorrow at the very same time. Stay there. Good night.
Good night.